I came to landscape architecture quite late in my professional career. I was completely passionate about music. I started playing violin when I was 10, started in youth orchestra when I was 13, and at that moment thought, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, to just be surrounded by the sound. But there are so many other interesting things in life. When I was a musician, I worked in Toronto a lot. I would walk around between rehearsals and concerts or between shows. I'd walk down Yonge Street towards the waterfront and just see these vast expanses of concrete and thinking there's got to be a way to make this look better. I went back to school when I was 58 years old. One of my friends said to me, at your age, and I must say that really strengthened my resolve because I thought, you can learn at any age. I developed an interest in plants, plant material, and one of my friends said, there's some great courses at the Ontario Agricultural College through the University of Guelph. You can do the 3 courses there and become a master gardener. So I started. I enjoyed it so much that I did all 13 courses. I knew I didn't have the information that I needed to really effect changes in the landscape. And so I went back to school in 2013 at the University of Guelph in the Masters of Landscape Architecture program. I would be lying if I said I wasn't apprehensive. School has changed. My brain's not as agile. Everybody's younger than my children, but it was such a privilege to soak up all of these ideas, to see what was going on in the landscape architecture world and the kinds of changes that landscape architects were making to our environment. One of the reasons I got into this profession was because of the waste of our natural resources, particularly the way we treat water. I am looking at ways to infiltrate the water into the ground and create a healthy ecosystem. I had, for my master's thesis, done a story map showing how water could be infiltrated through a series of bioswales along Ottawa Street. A young woman at Green Venture saw that research and she said, we want to do that down on Barton Street. And so we started looking at properties down there. There's often a strip 6 feet, maybe 15 feet wide, and it's paved over. The storm sewers down there are combined sewers, so all of the water's coming off of those surfaces and going into the combined sewers, which overflow, which means all of that crud goes into Lake Ontario. And so our project has been to take one of these little areas, the pavement is ripped up, the soil is remediated, a small army of volunteers comes, and everybody pitches in and plants. And these little gardens are accomplishing multiple functions. They're creating green space, they're providing beauty, they're providing pollinator habitat, they're taking water and diverting it into the ground. These projects were given an award by the City of Hamilton twice. Once Urban Design and Architecture Award in recognition, especially of the way that they were community generated, the community involvement. And then most recently by the Heritage Committee for renewing the streetscape on Barton Street. I went down there one Sunday and there was a gentleman that was just beating me to the sights by about 2 minutes. So I stopped and I talked to him and he was picking up garbage. And he said, I just make the rounds every week. I appreciate this so much that I just want to do my part to keep this clean. So it's also creating community. I mean, how much more can you ask for? Music and design are very closely linked. A good piece of music has a great structure. When I do a design, I try to incorporate a strong form and a strong structure. People talk about nature as being random or loose. Even nature operates with strong form and strong structure. Some plants like to be by themselves. Some plants like to have a few friends around. Some plants like to be en masse. You use your different elements and principles of design to create a strong structure. Almost every organization requires continuing education credits. These are not a burden These are an opportunity to learn, learn, learn. The other aspect that I would say to anybody in the profession is share your knowledge. You learn so much when you teach. We have so much knowledge to share as a landscape architect. We know what needs to be done to help mitigate problems of climate change, but we can't do it on our own. We also have to educate the general public. So when talking, try to use language that is clear. If I talk to one of my clients about green infrastructure or placemaking, they have no idea what I'm talking about. If we talk about making a special place for community to gather, they understand that. We have a strong responsibility to share our knowledge because we need to spread the information so that more people can contribute to the health of our environment.